Welcome to Mendezville Live, where it's something to talk about. Here is Rudy Mendez. What's going on, Mendezville Live? Let me take this overlay out of the way. My bad. What's going on, Mendezville Live? We got something to talk about. I wanted to redo my broadcast here today at 3-4 in the morning. It was like 3:30 in the morning. It was just in my head, and as I went back to sleep, I saw that there were some glitches. So I wanted to touch base on that with some better audio. Finally got this thing to work. I think. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, please. I'd like at least one comment. Let me know if this thing is working. We're gonna be touching base on the reopening of schools and COVID and all these things. And right off the bat, one of the concerns or one of the things that I was saying is like, well, we're all concerned about opening up the schools and kids getting COVID. Are we talking to the right people? The numbers and stuff like that. First and foremost, let me start with I think we all can agree that we opened up Texas, and I think it should be closed down. I think tomorrow. I think I've heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true. You know what? I'm not even gonna mention it because I don't know if it's true or not. The whole thing about closing it down again, I don't know. But I think we should have closed it down already, seeing that the big spike happened. So let's close it down already, control the virus from spreading. But who are we talking to about reopening schools? Have we talked to the daycares? Because daycare stayed open. Daycare stayed open for those that were essential workers and didn't have another family member that could take care of the kids. Daycare stayed open. What are the numbers for the daycares? I'm sure they're taking precaution with the face mask and all these other things. So that'd be interesting to know what kind of numbers they have, if any, that had COVID or got COVID-19 and they had to get quarantined. And their procedures, that'd be pretty interesting to communicate with those people. Some other people that would be interesting to talk about is, what about those camps? I know we saw on Facebook the thread with Arnold Martinez and his STX Hoopsters. He had basketball training going on. It'd be interesting to see what he has to say about if any kids got. I know I texted him. He said no one got any COVID symptoms or anything like that. Tested positive. But then again, I guess another thing would be, what about those people that train? Well, there's Arnold. I know I had my training. I had a Mendes Sports training. I know I had kids. I really didn't want to stop. I think they were doing great progress, but I had to because the spike. My wife's a nurse at Mission Hospital, so all things considered, let me err on the side of caution. So we shut that down. But I know there was two kids that their father had COVID, so they stopped coming. I haven't touched base with that person about if they had the symptoms. I should have. Actually, I have reached out a few times, but they won't answer my phone call. I don't know. And then the other one was the sports training, the sport leagues. I know my buddy over in San Antonio. He has his son in soccer, and I've seen them play. And he posts on Facebook, and it'd be interesting to know of all the sport leagues that occurred in the month of late June through July. If any of those kids have gotten COVID. That'd be pretty cool to see if any parents would comment on this thread, or maybe, if any of you know any of parents that have kids of that nature that were in daycares, sport leagues, sport camps, sports trainings, and see what kind of numbers have resulted out of that with COVID. Well, would that be? Oh, and also the high school kids. There were schools out there that had high school. I know there was one school in the area that got one kid tested positive, and I don't know the end result of that, but it'd be interesting to talk to the head coaches that had their strength and conditioning trainings and went about it. And I know Mission Vets. I live right around, near Mission Vets, or where I had my trainings, and it'd be interesting what numbers occurred there and their procedures. If nothing happened and no one got COVID, what kind of procedures I saw it. They were all spread out compared to the years past. Last summer when I saw it for the first time, jam packed. This was a little bit more open wide, not as packed per station when they do their strength and conditioning training. So I think those are some of the people that we should talk to about when it comes to reopening. I know parents were freaking out. We don't want to rush our kids. I know I'm one of them. My wife's one of them. And then the virtual learning. I know virtual learning. It's gonna be tough for the 3 weeks in the sense of, well, who's gonna go? For example, me. I have to go to work, so I'm gonna go to work. Where are my kids gonna stay? Now I got to figure out that. And my wife doesn't want to put them in daycare, so now I got to figure out. I got to figure out, send them with my in-laws or something. I got to figure that out. I'm sure I'm not the only one in that situation where if we have to report to work, record a class, right, with the camera or whatever it may be, where are our kids going to be? And that's going to be kind of challenging for the educators. Of course, you have the option of not going to work and not reporting. That's another option. I heard some people can do it from home. Who knows? I think that's one point I want to say. Now check this out. So I was talking to an educator friend of mine, right? And he said, look, and I'm myself too included, is I think either close it and say we're not opening till January, or I think we're avoiding or delaying the inevitable in the sense that we're going to have to open the schools and the kids are going to have to go to school. I think, granted, I am for the 3-week virtual. Get, test it out a little bit, see what's going on, avoid the spike that's going on. But that's what he said. He goes, we're just avoiding it. We just might as well just open the school up. But with that said, there's got to be modifications. And I think right now there's a problem in the sense that we're trying to open it up back to normal. There's nothing normal about this situation. I mean, when you really think about it, you're going to take kids and you're talking about teachers and kids in a situation there that it's I mean, kind of life and death at the same time, to where kids, you're going to go and it's like, okay, super tight, face shield. I mean, I haven't invested in a face shield, but I think I might have to get my mask and a face shield and make sure that I'm protected. I might have to go long sleeve, something. There's got to be something because it's not normal. This is not normal. And because this is not normal, I think we in the education system, from what I know now, granted, I don't speak to the higher ups. I haven't heard any news. I haven't got any text. I haven't checked my email. Is what are we doing that is not normal? What are we doing to think outside the box? And the other day I shared this video that was terrible audio. I forgot to mute the laptop here. But I'm going to redo it, but this time I'm going to bring you an Excel document. I'm going to share my screen here in a little bit. We've got to think outside the box. We've got to do things out of the ordinary, out of the norm, even if it's from here till January. Even if it's from here till January, hey, you know what? Let's sacrifice 6 months. 6 months, let's see. Part of August, almost all of August, September, October, November, December. 5 months, a 5-month sacrifice where not only the education system has to modify big time, but I think the employment has to modify too, because in the presentation I'm going to make, the scheduling I'm going to make, it's more of a Spanish style, more of a Mexico style where kids go half a day. And I included it just maybe, who knows, one school out of the whole state, one school district out of the whole state of Texas. It's probably going to be Mendezville ISD because they're front runners in innovative situations. And that's the way Mendezville ISD thinks. I heard great things about that school district. But without further ado, let's check out. Let's see if I can get this thing going. It's my first time sharing a screen, but let's do it. Let's see if we can follow along or if I can do a good job. Let's see here. So I came up with this. Let me double check if the window's showing it. Yeah, it's showing it. Okay. So Monday, Wednesdays, and of course this A and B flop on Tuesday, Thursdays, right? So of course A has core and B has electives on Mondays and Wednesdays. On Tuesday, Thursdays, electives, B would have core and A would have electives. So let's just go through this day. The core. No, we start the day off with the buses. The buses have to go pick up the electives first. And of course, these times can be changed. All these times can be changed, but this is the concept, the skeleton concept. So the electives, the buses go pick them up, drop them off. And of course, these guys will get their breakfast or whatever it may be around that time. They can figure that out. School districts can figure that out. The buses drop these guys off, and then they go back and pick up this group of students, right? So now they're both at school, and this is the schedule. 3 electives. At least this is the model that I'm using from the school that I was working at last year. 3 electives, right? And then, while these guys are in their 4 electives, this is highlighted for a certain reason. I'm going to share that with you in a bit. So they got first period, second period, third period electives. And the beauty of this is that when they're in their electives, they come dressed for PE or band or whatever. They can come in shorts and a t-shirt. Why? Because they don't. That way we avoid the whole changing in the locker rooms. That way they don't have to change. They just come in, comfortable clothing, and go to PE or a band or dance or whatever, folklorico, whatever it may be. Then they have lunch. This is 1C, it should be 1B. Sorry, it's a typo that I had when I was, it used to be 1C, but then I changed it to keep it like that. So half of that first lunch, we'll eat lunch in the cafeteria, 6 feet apart and all that. And the other half we'll eat in the classrooms, right? 2 lunches. and the elective teachers go eat their lunch. So half of the elective teachers can monitor the cafeteria while some of them go eat their lunch. And then, they swap. Then the others go get their 30-minute lunch while the others monitor. And of course, we have teachers aid, or, we can hire extra people for this situation because we're in a very different situation. Remember, there's nothing normal about it. This is, let's modify to make it work. Then these guys, the elective kids, go home. The buses take them home. When these guys finish their lunch, the electives, now these guys go to lunch. The reason this is highlighted is because we could go lunch. The scheduling could be played with here where it's like, okay, go to lunch first, and then you have fourth period, and then lunch again, or the buses, or something like that. This could be manipulated. But in this model is, while they're at lunch, remember, at 11:40, the elective teachers are back. So at 12 and 12 at 1:10, the core teachers can go get their lunch and have their conference, while these teachers, the elective teachers, can monitor these two lunches. See how it says elective teachers monitor? Because we're already back. So that'll be part of, these people are like, well, we have 4 periods and those only have 3. It's always unfair for the electives. No. Part of our job, part of the elective teacher's job is, hey, we got to monitor the cafeteria and the lunches classrooms, right? Because at the same time, there's not enough elective teachers to monitor all 3 grade levels of classrooms and all that stuff. So that's why there's 2 here. So anyways, core teachers have lunch, then core teachers have conference. Then after these 2 lunches are done, the elective teachers go get their conference. Now watch this. So let's go back to the buses. So these guys went home. The buses took them home. When the buses dropped these guys off, the buses, they go pick up these kids. The bus picks up these kids and drops these guys off. Bus drops them off, picks them up, drops them off at school. Then these guys get on the bus and these guys get taken home. After these guys get taken home, after A gets taken home and dropped off, then the buses pick up group D. And they start, see the way they start at a later time? So it's bus takes group B home. On the way back to school, they pick up C, drop off C, pick up the A from school, drop off A at home. On the way back to school, pick up D so they can go to school. Right? And of course, there you go. And the reason this is highlighted is because, again, this lunch stuff can be played with depending on the times that you want, who the master schedulers are. So then, of course, these guys go to their 4 periods, and these guys go to their 3 periods. And these are highlighted again because at the end of the day, you can play with who's going to eat dinner at what time. Who's going to eat dinner at what time. And, of course, dinner 1C, lunch 2C, dinner 1D, lunch 2D. It should say dinner. Sorry, I didn't finish it through. Of course, these times, you get the gist. These times can be played with. They could be, you can start earlier, you can start later. That's easy. Now, I think this model, I came up with this model for the high school and junior high students because, well, more for junior high because we got 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, right? And then in the last video I showed, well, you could do the same thing with elementary and you just swap. So if we were to do elementary, just swap, we just start this group, 5th grade, and then 4th grade, you swap. What I failed to do is I failed to take into consideration that elementary is at 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, kinder, and pre-K. Now, because of that, the whole swapping, right, to where one group goes in the morning, one group goes in the afternoon to their core and then their electives, there's a lot of students there. So what we could do to facilitate this, remember, we're thinking outside the box. To make this easier, what we could do is have certain schools in your district, respective districts, have certain schools house 5th, 4th, and 3rd, and the other schools 2nd, 1st, and kinder, and pre-kinder. And of course, you modify. It can be done. I remember when I was in elementary, there was a school, they were right next to each other. There was JFK and Memorial Elementary. There, it was 3rd, 4th, and 5th for one of them. I think it was even 6th. There it was. Some kids had to go 6th grade, and the others had for pre-K, kinder, 1st, and 2nd, right? So you can split them up to where you say, you know what, certain schools in the district are gonna go to 5th, 4th, and 3rd for this schedule, half days, and then the other school is gonna have the 2nd, 1st, kinder, and pre-K. That was the idea I came up with. Of course, I don't know if everybody's on board with that. The one thing I do mention is that with this schedule, not only do schools have to use a very different type of scheduling system, but also employment, because we have to figure out a way to where it gets tricky because parents have to go pick up their kids or give them that. For example, in Spain, I know in Mexico, it's you have like a 2 to 3 hour buffer window until the next class starts, and some kids get home late. But that's what I think, because of the situation we're in COVID. I think we have to think outside the box. It's not going to be normal. It shouldn't. I think our biggest mistake is, our biggest error is, we're trying to do things back to normal. There's nothing normal about the situation. We gotta revamp the system. We gotta start from scratch. Do things to make this work with social distancing, kids reporting to class, and make sure they're spread out as much as possible. And that's because in that scheme that I have, or that scheduling that I have, after school, there's still a possibility for sports. Now, me personally, I would say, you know what? Forget fall sports. We're in COVID situation. We're not gonna play fall sports, and it's not cool. I know a lot of parents are, especially the high school kids, the ones that are like, hey, you know what? I'm one of the top recruits in the nation for a scholarship, or it's tough. Or have the games. I mean, I guess at that point, it's more of a waiver where a parent says, I'm gonna have my kids play, no risk to the school. I understand the risk, and I'm willing to take that, so my son or daughter can participate in whatever extracurricular activity. I don't know if school districts would be cool with that. You know, Having kids participate and then someone gets sick and dies out of that situation. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. I'm just shooting ideas out here. Just maybe someone picks it up, or somebody uses that concept and revamps it, but likes what they're hearing. It's an idea. It's an idea, and I've always been a fan of just shoot ideas. If someone picks it up, great. If they don't, it's okay. But it was an idea. It's better to be speak with a chance of getting picked up. Other than that, let's see. What else do I have here? Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. That was my message. I think in the political part of it is how Governor Abbott and some you go through, you watch the some of the news and some of the threads, and some people are siding with the fact that we're keeping Texas open because of the Trump in connection with Abbott and all these things. Or when we had the Mr. What's his name, the judge, the county judge, and some of the surrounding commissioners were, well, let's put a curfew from 12 to 5 a.m. Come on, man. No one's out and about from 12 to 5 a.m., man. Stop making. Here's the thing. This is for all political people. Stop making decisions to make you look pretty to get reelected. Stop making those type of decisions. Make decisions for the better of the community, for the better of the people, especially in COVID right now. Hey, people are dying. And I know it because I have the person that works at the ICU hospital every single day, and every single day I get the count that I cannot, well, actually not every, she shares some stuff, but not, she follows all the rules. But I know what's going on in those hospitals. We need to close Texas down. Or even, hey, and tell you what, I just thought of this right now. With Texas and opening, well, why don't you know what? Let's do that. Certain businesses, we take turns. Either half days, or certain businesses we take weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the other ones are on Tuesday, Thursday, like a kind of college schedule, or part of half a Saturday, and the other businesses have a Saturday. Let's do that. Let's minimize the opening of business. I know it's got to get closed. There's got to be something that we have to do from the people that, the county judge, Governor Abbott, mayors in the area. You got to close businesses down. You have to close businesses down, either full or figure out a way to where it's minimized, to where only certain days of the week or certain times of the week, something. But those are just ideas. And hopefully some of you, if you agree with them, great. If you don't agree with them, great. It's either or. Just broadcasting. To be honest with you guys, I just wanted to test this mic out. I've been wanting to test this mic out for a while. I'm actually recording from the camera of the laptop instead of, I usually record from the phone, nice and high, and everything. But I'm missing the TR. I bought an adapter that was incorrect. I bought TRRS female to a male TRS adapter, and it should be reversed. So I'm using this. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think I like it. I don't know. I hope you guys can hear me, but hey, hopefully it was entertaining for some of you. Hopefully you guys can hear me, and well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in the state of Texas, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, let me put on. Before we leave, I'll shut it down. But let's put on some Rey Arturo Rios. My uncle wanted me. I couldn't figure out how to download it to the overlay so we could hear it. But as I end the broadcast, I'm just gonna put a logo on there, and we're gonna finish off with my uncle's jam. Let's see, Rey Arturo. I think it's the song. I don't know, the Trefeces. I think it is. Can you guys hear that? Yo, yo, yo. Be easy. Take it easy. Have a good night. Peace.
Sentadita en mi troca, dando rol en el freeway. Piensa qué podríamos hacer si estuvieras a mi lado.